Hello everyone and welcome back to Heaven's Secret 2, Season 1, Episode 9. It has finally been released. I have been waiting for this for so long now. I think it's over a month. So let me just stop rambling on and let me just start. A member of the Order finally reveals himself. Oh, let's go. You know how it goes. Yes. Today you're the enemy and tomorrow you're the lover. Let me stop. Oh, Laura. I was walking on wet, slimy ground covered with raspberry-colored petals. Laura. Lilo's unsettling. Right. No, this gave me backflashes from season 1, where Laura was murdered and then we had that vision in our dream. Now Lilu died. I forgot for a second. Lilu's unsettling laughter came from somewhere ahead. So now she's gonna warn us about something? This place seems familiar. That. I walked on, feeling the wet soil gurgling under the leaves and someone's bones crunching. Ay. Finally, I saw Lilu bent over her own body. Oh, is that an astral projection? As in, she's still not in her dead body or something? I mean, you know what I mean. When you are, I don't know, for those who watch The Vampire Diaries, where Bonnie died in season 5, and she was in the other world, as in the afterlife, and she was standing in front of her own body in the mortal world. Is that something like this? She abruptly fell silent and turned to me. An empty vessel capable of absorbing someone else's power. Oh, I don't think I've ever said that, but I have been thinking about this. So let me just say my theory real quick. Malbonte once said that we are an empty vessel capable to absorb his power. But is it possible that that's our power? Are we, do we not have powers on our own, but we're capable to absorb the powers of other supernatural beings, as in of Malbonte, of plague, of war, if you know what I mean? As in, are we capable to absorb the powers of heavenly creatures, or creatures in general, like people with supernatural abilities? You're like a blank book. I appeared in your head when I touched your pages. Am I right? Consider this my last whisper before non-existence takes me away. Lilu, what's going on? I'm pretty sure that that's your power, girl. If that's the power, oh my god. Plague, watch out. I'm going to take all your power away from you. I'm gonna leave you mortal. Instead of answering, she touched my forehead. You won't remember this dream, but that doesn't matter. Lilu? Oh, look at this. Oh, I love the animations. I love the animations that they put on the story. Oh my god. I always wanted to be a demon. Oh? They can get angry. They can do bad things and no one will judge them. I mean, I did say in previous episodes that she was acting more like a demon. Like a bitch. You can't scold a bird for flying. But I was born an angel. A kind, good girl. Girl, you can also be a bitch and be an angel. Look at Fenzio. One who's supposed to be polite, pure, and kind-hearted. Who's supposed? But there are always exceptions. Fenzio. I have to hate on Fenzio. Those who watched my Heaven's Secret reactions already know I have beef with Fenzio. For someone like me to let the darkness inside would disturb the harmony. So I was polite, pure, and kind-hearted. But that's not your nature, girl. You're a bitch. It's fine. I'm so sorry. I'm gonna stop. I did what was expected of me. You see, and that's the problem. That reminds me of something that Lucifer said. I think it was in Heaven's Secret season 2, where he came to talk to us after Fenzio said that we're expelled. We have so little time on our hands, and we are wasting it by trying to do what everyone expects of us instead of doing what we want. We only have one life. Why would you waste that life being someone you're not comfortable with? You're not comfortable being a good-hearted person, apparently, so be a demon. You don't have to show that with your wings. Actions speak louder than words sometimes. Your actions already betrayed that you are a demon, so be a demon. My actions were dictated by rules and conventions. The real me was buried beneath them. But after the war, I suddenly realized I might die without ever knowing who I truly was. Deep down inside, under that pile of masks, I flew away to the far lands, away from my parents, who saw me only as means of securing power. Damn! And away from the old me, that cardboard cutout in a white dress who thanked Thifa for all the blessings and held tight to Dinah's hand, knowing full well he'd never be mine. I'm talking her like a villain. But I'm sorry, with everything she's saying, she's actually seeming like, one of those lunatics that are about to do something crazy. I discovered darkness within me. Darkness? Girl, I already said that in episode 7. You are not 100% good and you're not 100% dark, as in bad. You are both. You're 50-50, whether you're a demon and whether you're an angel, depending on your choices, depending on what you experience in life and how that and how you let that shape you. You can your darkness can become bigger than your light, or your light can become bigger than your darkness. But you will always have good and negative qualities inside of you. That's not optional. I discovered darkness within me, anger, envy, and indolence, and I accepted it. Accepted it just to meet my end on the damp ground. When she tried to murder... Oh my God! That's a beautiful picture, though. In a couple of minutes, I'm going to kill myself. I'll kill myself because I was in a hurry and gave in to anger, passion, hope. Because I didn't listen to Dino. But I'm dying as the real me. A demon. It's a shame, of course. My life wasn't valuable enough for me to be granted a sealed mind. But I'm dying as the real me. Damn, this sword is dark. And these ashes, the harboring of my death, will mix with tears and cool the heated skin of my body, which has but a few moments left to live. Wow. Ooh. Lilu, your thoughts shock me. Damn, I mean, I knew you were a bitch, but that tragic? Damn! I don't even know what to say right now. I'm kind of shocked. I knew she had more bad qualities than good because of how she acted, or perhaps it was my jealousy because she was always up on my man. But, damn, girl, you didn't have to do yourself dirty like that. There are always other ways out. You don't have to kill yourself. That's the easiest way out. I can feel my heart beating. 1, 2, 3. Now I'm going to die, and even if Sifa doesn't hear me, I'll say it. Thank you for keeping me alive until now. I don't regret anything. Wow. Damn. What's up with the light? I'm shocked. I don't know what to say. Episode 9, the enemy of my enemy. The enemy of my enemy is my friend. Okay, I'm gonna stop. The night was unbearably long, filled with anxiety and frightening fantasies. Was Dino still alive, or had Plague ended his suffering once she'd fed enough on him? Oh, hell no! What does he have to do with it? I suppose she's going to punish him because he was like, you couldn't control your prisoner or something like that. I worried for him. Really? After all, he was always kind to me and to others. Whatever was happening, he didn't deserve to suffer. The room seemed small and stuffy to me. I felt like a beast in a cage, pacing from one end to the other, and unable to find my place. Why have they been gone for so long? I made the bed and began to dress with trembling hands. Poor us. Well, they all look stupid to me. I don't know. Let's just go with this one. Just go with this one. Why not? Oh my god. Okay, I'm not a fan of any of these hairstyles. Let me just go with this one. Even though I don't think it fits, but it's fine. I sat at the window thinking about Lilu's words. Why did she kill herself? So the horsewoman couldn't get inside her head? I cringed at the thought of suicide. What does it feel like to press your hand to your chest and channel your own energy to kill yourself? Oh, right. She used her own magic. She used her own powers to kill herself. What did she know that drove her to destroy her life so quickly, so readily, as if it was the obvious choice? The door opened without warning. Addie and Sammy slipped into the room and locked the door behind them. I love these babies, and I'm so happy that they're here. Did it work? Did what work? Sort of, yes. What do you mean, sort of? It wasn't that easy, you know. We bribed one of the gods. They have a shift change in 10 minutes. He can delay his partner for 15 or 20 minutes. More if you're lucky. But if things don't go as planned, no one will be able to warn you. That's fine. Are you sure? Do you think I'm crazy? Yes, girl. And very naive. And you don't think things through. Now, I want to know, what exactly are you trying to do? Are you trying to bust Dino out? We don't think so. We know... Addie, like I said, already in episode 4, he's my spirit animal. Thanks, guys. Hurry up. We headed for the tower where Dino was being held prisoner. This bitch is insane. As Addie had said, the guard was changing, but I slipped through before the new shift reached their post. The horsemen's weakness lay in their self-confidence. They never bothered checking the work of others, knowing that if something went wrong, they'd always be handled. I quickly reached the top floor and ran down the dark hallway, looking into each cell and whispering as I went. Dino? Dino, are you here? Simona? Yes. We are insane, we're crazy. He was in the very last one. I stopped and took a breath. How are you? Dino took a step forward. He looked the same outwardly, but something in his tired, dull eyes betrayed lengthy suffering. Ooh, bitch, you're dead. Ooh. I'm waiting for the moment where we can kill her. He sighed and shook his head with a smile. I'll be fine. You shouldn't have taken this risk. I don't care. I had to know that you're safe. Dino, why did Lilo try to kill Christopher? What did she do to you? His lips curled and twitched as if from a spasm. She tried to find answers to her questions, and when she didn't find them, she got angry. How are your memories? Some things are hard to remember now, and I'll probably never get them back. Ooh! The hate I feel right now, but nothing significant. She was only looking for what interested her and didn't touch the more personal stuff. Dino, are you in the Order of Resistance? Dino stepped shakily forward and put his fingers to his lips. That though, like, shut up. Shh, don't talk about it. That though, look at his angry face, like, girl. Is that a yes? Girl, are you stupid? I don't know any more than you do. Maybe just a little. Don't. He cut me off as soon as he saw that I was about to ask something else. Well, now I can ask him any other questions. I shouldn't have been so blunt. Dino looked as far down the hallway as the bars allowed. Where's the god? We've got a little more time. It will improve both your friendship and relationship. I mean, if it's also friendship. What happened to you while I was in the dungeon? He retreated into the darkness as if he didn't want me to see the surge of emotion that my question brought to his face. Nothing unusual. Then tell me. Dan ran his hand through his hair, collecting his thoughts, and then spoke. At first I tried to fight, just like you. Oh, as in the first episode. Okay. Blake loomed over me as I was sprawled out on the ground. I spilled blood on her shoes. So cheeky, and here I thought you were an angel. He has no right to, he has no reason to show you respect, bitch. No reason. She looked over her shoulder at my father, extended her hand and clenched her fingers into a fist. At that moment he screamed, falling to his knees. Bow your knee, boy. I keep on saying it. I want her to die so badly, but she's still iconic. I fixed an angry look on my father and croaked once again, spit and blood. He has done a lot of evil. Maybe this will teach him a lesson. Blake drew back, theatrically touched her chest and burst out laughing. Oh, look at that. If it weren't for your wings, I wouldn't believe it. Her face contorted sharply in anger. But I feel... She inhaled loudly, her nostrils flaring like those of an animal. You're to spare. She clenched her fist again, subjecting my father to another wave of agony, and I cried out, Stop it. Ooh, she knows that you still care. She knows you still care. Plague tortured me for weeks, probably in the cell next to yours, because I sometimes heard your voice. Or maybe I only imagined it. My poor child. I don't know how much longer it would have gone on, but one day my father came to me. Release him. The servants removed my shackles and held me up so I wouldn't fall. Let's go, son. You think I'm going anywhere with you? A furious, almost croaking laugh escaped from my dry lips. Who would ever doubt that you'd join her? It's the sassiness from me. It's the sassiness for me. Come to your senses first, then we'll talk. Sir, you're delusional. You're telling me I have to come to my senses. They gave me clean clothes and food and allowed me to step in a small room. Then my father came again and invited me to go with him. Ooh. At first I thought we were heading for the far lands, but the dense swirling clouds suddenly parted and an island appeared ahead. I was far from the capital and the school, secluded like a place that exists only in memories. Where are we? My father set foot on the ground, took a few steps, and stared at the only tree on that small piece of land. Why did you never ask me exactly how your mother was killed? I was numb, either from cold rage. Honestly, I was so focused on reading. I always asked. I'm pretty sure that I mentioned that in the last episodes. We don't know anything about his mother, about Dino's or Lucifer's. We finally learned a bit about Lucifer's mom, who she is. And what's her situation? Are we gonna get a little intel on his mother? Ooh. I was numb.
From Cold Ray said he had purposely chosen this topic to bring me over to the cider because he was finally speaking about her for the very first time. I thought you never loved her. I didn't bring her up for fear of confirming my suspicions. I thought he only nodded as if he had already come to terms with the fact that I saw him as a selfish and cruel.
Did he expect something different?
She found this place and remembered it. She marked it on a map so as not to lose track of it. She noted down every time this island moved. He walked up to the tree and touched it. He ran his palm over the rough bark as if stroking it. When he removed his hand, I saw a scrawled inscription. Vasaria and Fenzia.
Ooh.
She saw mortals do it and wanted to do the same. She said, what's the point of living forever if there's nothing left of us when the end comes? People know how to make themselves immortal without any superpowers. That's what she said. Your mother loved them. She was the kind of an angel that neither you nor I will ever become.
Sir, I think you're speaking too high of yourself. Dino's twice the man that you are.
But it's my fault. For a moment I seemed to see the island the way my mother had seen it, blooming, untouched and pure, just like she had probably been.
Oh my god.
Look at this, people.
I love it. I love the animations.
And the withered cherry tree bending under the weight of its bare branches appeared in front of me again. Why are you telling me this? I was angry that his words affected me, pollected me. Wasn't that exactly what I wanted? I saw you died when you were very young, so you don't remember, but I loved her.
Really? You loved her, he says.
Maybe not as a woman, but as a deity. Something pure and unattainable. Can you understand that?
No.
He looked at me, but immediately turned away as if he couldn't stand my gaze. It's very painful to think of her.
Sir, if you didn't love her, you only saw her as a deity. You loved her as a being and not as a person. Damn.
She died because of me.
What?
She was killed by my enemies. I was done a throne who opposed Sonalion. Osti's father? Yes, there were rumors that he was hiding half-breeds when it was still forbidden. It wasn't talked about, but the half-breeds were mercilessly destroyed. Even mothers pregnant with half-breeds were sent down to Earth. Around that time I raised the issue of removing his title of throne. I lost, but he was furious, and after that Varys was found dead. Do you think? It was a real scandal, but it wasn't possible to prove that Sonalion was behind it. But Rebecca, she knew the story. She avenged me many years later.
Ooh.
He pursed his lips as if he felt humiliated at the thought that a woman had helped him. Like a hand out of favor, the disgust was obvious on his face. I was a fool. I stuck my nose where it didn't belong.
That's where your most issues start.
First, I should have made sure that the dear to me was safe. He turned to me, shrugged, and for the first time during our conversation looked directly into my eyes openly. You should be smarter too. You don't have to give up your ideals. You can continue to despise me. It doesn't matter. Don't be stubborn. It'll only lead you straight to non-existence.
Sir, I'd rather feel than to be numb.
You need to be more resourceful and careful. Attack when victory is assured, otherwise what's the point?
I mean, for that points to him.
Come, I'll show you something else. We return to the dungeon. You were lying on the floor and you didn't react in any way to her arrival. You just closed your eyes to avoid the ray of light that fell on your face.
Aww.
She needs to be released. My father held my hand firmly, uncompromising. Dino is so pure. I thought about letting you do it.
Excuse me?
Letting you free her, but the old woman would inevitably catch you, and then Blake would torture her slowly, knowing that it would hurt you. That would be a great lesson for you, albeit a cruel one. Do you still want to go through with it, or is knowing all of this enough? I'm sorry.
Honey.
I wanted to help, really.
Dino. Dino's my child. He has to be protected. I looked away. Thanks for sharing, Dino. You got to know Dino better and understand his feelings. What was that? Dino was silent, as if considering whether he should speak. Then he cautiously answered,
A child.
Where from? Dino, who is this child?
You figure it out. I'm not going to tell you knowing that you'll just take risks and rush into something again.
Sir, I either rush into things again by myself or with your help. I'm still gonna rush in things. He looked angry, but abruptly caught himself and fell silent. He doesn't want me to end up like Lilo. If a child is here, then the horsemen brought him, and they need him. Dino only nodded. The door slammed and I heard the guard approaching. I jumped back in fright, hiding in the shadows.
Don't worry, I'll distract him.
He'll feel my energy. You don't have one anymore. You don't have one anymore, or am I stupid? The energy of an immortal is connected to your powers. You can feel that power. That's why you know when someone is there. She doesn't have one anymore. Does she still have an energy?
Trust me.
I always do, honey. It's fine. Dino gripped the bars and raised his voice.
Let me out.
Ooh, he hit the wall with such force that fragments of stone fell down. Damn.
Hey, what are you doing? I said let me out.
Ooh. In a mad fury, Dino made an effort to destroy the cell. He rushed from corner to corner and shouted, Damn! Acting classes paid off. Let me stop. Straining his weakened body and wasting what was left of his strength. His nose was bleeding, but he didn't seem to notice. The guard ran down the hallway toward the cell. I pressed myself against the wall harder, as if I might merge into it, and then began moving slowly towards the exit. When the guard was even with me, I stopped, held my breath, and even closed my eyes as if that could make me invisible. But Dino was so loud and on such a frenzied rampage that he drew all of the guards' attention to himself and prevented him from noticing the weak spark of my energy. See?
Shut up!
I hurried, struggling to keep my steps silent, and then I opened the door and dashed outside, worried he would hear the rusty hinges. Jesus! Ooh! I'm so sorry. Ooh! The graphics of this story have upgraded. I darted outside so quickly that I didn't notice the stairs and tumbled down them head over heels. Ouch! I rubbed my bruised head with irritation as if someone else was to blame for my inattention. Astaroth. My other soulmate. I'm gonna stop.
What are you doing here?
I'm here to see you. Let me stop. Astaroth was standing in the middle of the path. It was unclear whether he was returning from the tower or heading there. What are you doing here? Are you following me, honey? It's okay if you are. He broke off and nervously glanced in my direction. Huh?
Do I report to you or something?
Oh, really? You're playing that joke? I keep on going back to episode 8. Is it possible that he cares about us more than he cares to admit and he's just being a douche about it? What should I say? You could. Do you have something to hide? That though.
Not in this case.
Asked the rod. He narrowed his eyes, looking at me, and came closer.
Are you visiting Dino? Maybe I should tell Blake that you have a special relationship.
Sir, what are you trying to achieve here? It's not like that. He sneered dismissively.
Don't worry so much, I didn't see anything. And I don't care.
Asteroid was about to take a step toward the door. At the tower, but I suddenly asked, who was covering for you all this time? Tell me how you managed to hide for so long. Why didn't you come to the school after the law of segregation was abolished?
You want to have a heart-to-heart? Seriously.
You are so fine. I have to get closer to you, honey. Tell me that he's a love interest. Tell me he's a love interest. What should I do? Convince him. Convince him. Talk with me. You know you want to talk to me. Why not? Is it some kind of secret? I'm genuinely interested. Asteroid laughed bitterly. I felt insulted even though he hadn't said a single word, but to my surprise, he suddenly shuddered and shrugged his shoulders, then his brow creased.
I feel sick whenever someone talks about Sif as a good deity. It wasn't kind. Anything but kind. Malbonte was the first half-breed to survive, and after that everyone survived.
I would say because he's literally the first one that was capable, as in powerful enough, to survive. Because normally it is said that a mixture between angel and demon, they don't survive. Like, the women get pregnant with half-breeds, but they die at the end, as in the children. I don't know. 5 months or 6 months after they are born, they die because it's too much power. But perhaps it was just because Malbonte couldn't continue to live. He didn't continue to live as a half-breed. He was split into 2, so it was like the first one that's sort of started the tradition of bearing half-breeds. He wasn't allowed to. And Sifa used that as an opportunity to, I would say, kind of curse the children. He says they have too much power, so they can't survive. It's not good because their evil side will show up, or etc. Or we just can't have another case like Malbonte. So he cursed all the people. Like, as soon as they get pregnant with half-breeds, they inevitably die. And when Malbonte was capable to get his entire powers back, turn into his original self, all the people survived. Or something like that, if you know what I mean. The law of segregation was abolished 10 years after that incident, if you know what I mean. They are older, but it could also be out of context. I don't know. Don't take me too seriously. He turned to me and moved closer, as if that would make his words sound more meaningful.
Sifa sent them all to Earth.
Ooh.
Deprived them of all of their immortality and strength. Do you know why? Because he was afraid. Not all half-breeds were dangerous to him, only some.
Why? He silently turned away before thoughtfully speaking again.
There was one demon who protects some half-breeds, but not for free, as a service. A father was from the far lands. He plowed the dirt and did hard labor because he didn't work for your harmony.
He spat out the last words like a curse.
He was an ordinary lower-rank angel who fell in love with a demoness.
Ooh, he's an angel! That's why he wanted to protect them all, okay.
She gave birth to his children and left for fear of Sifa's punishment. But Sifa still found her and her father and sent them to Earth.
See? Exactly what happened to Malbonte's parents. I hate this. So, all the parents that were bearing half-breeds, they were technically persecuted, like Malbonte and his parents were persecuted. And as a punishment for bearing those half-breeds. He deprived them of all their powers, turned them into mortals, and sent them to Earth. That's dark. That's sad. What about you and Christopher?
Father managed to hide us with the demon, who for some reason agreed to take us in. He said we were special, that we still had a part to play.
Azeroth took another step and I had to back away slightly.
I admire some immortals, not for the strength or power, but for their ability to wait. How long did Malbonte wait sitting there in the dark before a fool like you came and helped him break free?
Damn!
He's waiting now too.
He's waiting for the right time to attack. Azeroth chuckled grimly.
My brother and I were also waiting, and our patron was waiting. We deserve to reap the rewards.
Who was your patron? Azeroth grabbed my clothes and pulled me closer.
Ask Rebecca.
Oh! He pushed me away. He turned to look at the academy, whose spires pierced the clouds.
As children, Christopher and I dreamed of coming here. We imagined going to lessons, developing our abilities, and flying freely between the lands. We couldn't leave hell. That red-orange suffocating glow, I hated it so much.
I'm sorry, did we just see his face?
But we grew up. The law of segregation was abolished and everything changed. Only then we were afraid to go out.
I cannot.
We knew that even though the law was gone, we were still outsiders. We knew we shouldn't be here. I hated all the immortals for their freedom, for being in Sifa's good graces, and he deprived us of his love.
Azeroth burst into laughter as if it was all a stupid joke. Azeroth. Oh, my child is hurt. He's hurting so much. He has been felt betrayed. He has the feeling that he technically has the same insecurities that Malbonte shared with us in Heaven's Secret Season 3. He was persecuted, he was hated, and he was shamed for being who he is. He was born a half-breed, and he was always he always got the feeling, because of people's words, that he wasn't worthy of being alive in the first place. He has always been mistreated. And now, of course, you develop feelings like grief, anger, disappointment, rage, fury, and even some sort of grief, because technically what he's explaining right now, it is some sort of grief. He's grieving the opportunity that he never got. He wanted to go to the school, he wanted to study, he wanted to be free just like everyone else around him, but he couldn't because he's a half-breed. Just because of that fact, he had to hide, and he had to get used to a world, a place where he doesn't feel like himself. You know, I'm just gonna use an example. If you are closed inside a room and you never ever get out, sooner or later the walls are starting to get closer to you. You feel like you're suffocating, and he was suffocating in hell. It's a mental suffocation. He was not pleased.
But my passion has won. You're all as weak and sacred as Christopher and I were.
Look at this.
Sifa was just as weak, and he's dead now. You're not worthy of my hatred, and you're not to blame for it.
He tossed back a lock of hair that had fallen across his eyes as he paced from side to side, consumed by his toxic memories. Girl, that's trauma. This is trauma.
Now I'm here, and everyone will see what we're capable of. What power lay within us while we were forced to hide like rats for the sake of your sensitive, frail hearts.
He turned all of the pain he has into rage. And revenge. Okay. Asteroid leaned, looming over me, and slowly, grimly smiled again. I wanted to spit in his face to wipe away that arrogance, but instead I said, I understand you better now, thanks. Strength, okay. You uncovered more details. Asteroid straightened up swiftly with a peculiar sound that might have been surprise, irritation, or even a chuckle. And then without saying goodbye, he headed for the tower. Someday this conversation will bear fruit, okay? Psst. Addie! I turned around sharply. Addie and Sammy came out from behind the bushes, clumsily brushing away leaves and thorns. How long have you been standing here? They heard the entire conversation.
We were worried that the guards saw you.
Sammy! If he dies again, I swear to God. Not me jinxing it. Forget what I said. I think I'm in the clear.
And how's Dino? Alive? We better go back to the school and discuss everything there.
Sammy looked around cautiously. We need to check something.
No, we don't.
Sammy. Addie laughed at Sammy. Me! Addie! Like I said, Addie's me. Addie is my spirit animal. Addie laughed at Sammy's indignant groan.
I missed that.
He put his arm around our shoulders.
So what's next?
Oh. Let's go back to the tower. Oh, girl. Ooh! Oh, sorry. The hallway! Yes! We had to use a different entrance to get past the cells without running into the guards. But the room from which a child's mournful cries could be heard every so often was also under the watchful eye of a demon. Not surprising.
I'll distract them.
How?
Leave it to us.
Sammy, be careful. And Addie, please. I cannot lose you again. They stepped out into sight as I whispered after them. Wait.
Hey, you're not allowed in here. Sorry, we're looking for the school administration. Administration? It's gone. What are you talking about? We bring light and chaos.
Addie fiercely struck the guard's ear with his palm, and stunned by Addie's energy, the diamond slid down the wall to the floor. Damn! What did you do? You'll be punished!
We'll stay with him. Come on, hurry up.
Guys!
Hurry now.
Addie, Sammy, I hate you guys so much right now. How could you put yourselves in danger? I cannot lose you again. I nodded and opened the door. I feel unsure. As soon as I shut the door behind me, I heard the stomping feet of approaching reinforcements and the guys' laughter. How are they going to get away? What are you doing here? Oh, Lisa was frozen near a bed with faded sheets, clutching a baby to her chest. He cried plaintively and diligently, clung to her fingers as if that was the only way he could feel safe. Tito leaned against the pillow and looked at me with sleepy, piercing eyes. I cannot understand you, and I want to. You can't be here. Lisa stepped in front of her son, shielding him with her body. I won't hurt you. The Earth Woman knows you're here. She set the gods up for show. She sensed your intrusion as soon as you entered. That's what she said. She feels everything. Lisa spoke with a halting uncertainty, as if she had been silent for so long she'd forgotten the sound of her own voice. Who is the child? He's not mine. Whose? She shook her head sharply and stepped back. I can't. 26? Girl, Blake won't know. Doris Woman knows everything. The door swung open. Malbonte! Oh, Malbonte. Malbonte. Perché? Why? Malbonte was holding Sammy and Addie by their collars. They'd been roughened up. He did not actually beat them up. What did he do to you? I rushed to help them, but Malbonte pushed the guys my way, and we all landed in a pile on the floor. Sir!
The only reason they're still alive is that they're weak and don't pose a threat.
Is that so? Then he shoved the battered guys aside like rubbish and grabbed my arm and lifted me with one jerk. Bitch. Sammy! He did not act. Oh, I'm so mad right now. Can we smack him too, please? Is that a gem choice? Let me smack him.
Don't touch us.
Sammy, it's okay. It's okay. I grabbed Malbonte's sleeve and choking on my own emotions kept repeating myself. It's not their fault. I asked them to. They don't know anything.
I know, and you'll pay for it.
Bastard. Honestly, I don't know what to feel right now. I hate Malbonte for roughing up my babies. Addy is iconic. No matter what happens, he's a mood. He's like bastard. I'll pay for it. How? Are you gonna roughen me up?
Maybe so, but you're lucky it was me and not the horseman who found you.
Malbonte nodded to the guards crowding behind him. Like well-trained soldiers, they obediently split ranks, stepped around either side of Malbonte and grabbed Sammy and Addy.
Throw them in the cell.
Guys, Malbonte grabbed my shoulder and without looking at my face led me away.
Don't be afraid, Simona.
I'm scared for you guys. I'm not scared for myself. I kept trying to turn around and look after them, but Malbonte only squeezed my shoulder harder. Sir, what you want? Where are you taking me?
To Plague, she's waiting for you.
Sir, I think your dick is waiting for my foot. You actually want me to kick your balls? Where? Oh, he's a completely different person when he's around Plague and when he's not around Plague. This is not a person that would have wanted to kiss us. You know? As in, he has retrieved so much into his shell, shielding himself from any sort of emotion right now. Jesus, because I broke into that room.
She doesn't know about that.
But Elisa said that Plague could feel. She has been compelled, I would say, you know?
This room is within my energy domain, not hers. Plague is too impulsive to focus her energy.
I stared at Malbonte, not hiding my interest. He just revealed one of the horsewoman's weaknesses, although it was unconfirmed, and it looked like he wasn't going to tell her about the incident. Why are you helping me? That's love, bitch. Sorry. Malbonte was silent for a long time. I already didn't expect an answer, but suddenly I heard his voice, as cold as before, but more guarded, as if he couldn't really explain why he was doing it.
You're an enemy. No, I don't consider you an enemy, even if we remain on opposite sides.
Look at his face! Malbonte! You developed a weakness for me again, didn't you? Because I'm too weak? Nah. Yes. Look at his... Sir, this is a lustful gaze. This is not a... Yes, because you're a bitch, you know? This is a lustful gaze. Why am I always thinking dirty? I am so sorry. What exactly are you thinking right now? Are you saying I'm too weak as in... as in you can't slam me too hard anymore? If you know, you know. I don't want to be too specific, but if you know, you know. Are you afraid that you won't be capable to be that hard on me? Or spank me that harshly? Okay, I'm gonna stop. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm gonna stop. I pursed my lips. As always, Malbonte was cruel in his bluntness. What will happen to Addy and Sammy?
You asked too many questions.
And you answered too little. Malbonte didn't let go of me, and I was almost dragged along, barely keeping up with his quick steps. Malbonte! You have longer legs than me! At some point, I felt Malbonte's hand tremble, and when I looked, I saw his face contorted in anger. I stumbled from fright and almost fell, but he held on to me. He grabbed my other shoulder and turned me toward him. Ooh! Sorry. Now his face was right in front of me, still blazing with rage. Ooh. Sir, what's on your mind? What should I do? Yes. Yes. Now this is a choice that I have to take. I'm so sorry. Touch his cheek. Touch his cheek. I touched his face with cold, trembling fingers. It felt just as icy as before, but almost frozen, petrified. Malbonte abruptly looked up at me. His gaze seemed to slice the air like a sword, whose tip now rested right over my heart. Remove your hand. No. His words carried a deadly severity. No, I don't wanna. And they spelled out a clear order. I obeyed. Slowly, as if afraid to move, I lowered my hand. What's wrong with you? Malbonte's lips trembled, curling into a cruel grin. The darkness never lets go if you've fallen into its trap even once. Let me just interpret his words. Technically, he's saying he allowed darkness, as in his negative emotions, to get the best of him. Or, which is what I could believe is true, he has to carry out evil orders and is what everyone expected of him. In season 3 of Heaven's Secret, he said everyone expected him to be evil, so technically he was just like, I'm gonna play the role I've been given, and I'm gonna be the evil here. But he's not. He's not an evil at all. He's actually pure. And now he is the little dog of plague, and he has to carry out evil orders, and that's making everyone see him as evil again. Perhaps he thinks that we believe that he's evil now, once again, and now he's using this as in, just stay away from me, because trying to get close to me in this circumstances could only end up hurting you, and I can't hurt you. Are you talking about Sifa Malam? Sweat suddenly beaded on his forehead and ran down his temples. His eyes burned with the fire of madness. Malbonte's hands were trembling, but it seemed that it was only because he was holding back so as not to hurt me. Why is Sifa Malam contacting you? He suddenly laughed. It was soft but merciless, almost brutal. You pity me. Oh, sweet. Sir, I hate when people use the word pity. I hate it so much. I hate when people see caring as pity. I don't pity you. I feel compassion. I feel the pain and hopelessness that you're in right now. I don't know exactly what you're going through, but I can imagine. I can feel those negative impacts that are hurting you so much. It has nothing to do with pity. He squeezed my shoulders tighter until I squeaked from pain and fear. Sir, don't you understand that I'm willing to let the whole world be destroyed to get rid of his snares? Didn't I say that, people? He's trying to push her away like this. He's like, I can't hurt you, so just please stay away. He has to carry out all those negative orders from Plague. And it's gonna end up hurting someone, aka us. Malbonte brought his face closer and said in a barely audible yet furious tone, There's no need to feel sorry for me, because I won't feel sorry for anyone. I never said I feel sorry for you. But the fact that he's considering the possibility that we feel sorry for him means that he actually knows that we care. You can't feel sorry for anyone if you don't have any sort of feelings for someone. It doesn't have to be necessarily romantic, but you have some sort of weakness for that person, some sort of interest, okay? Because if you don't, you can't feel any sort of emotion towards them. He moved as if to push me away, but his stiff fingers didn't obey him and continued to clutch my shoulders. You don't want to push me away, honey.
What bad timing.
Malbonte closed his eyes, seemingly from intense pain, and turned his head to one side, then slowly to the other. He's reaching out to him. And since he has all the dark energy inside of him, the impact of Sifa Malam's presence is even stronger. He did tell us in Heaven's Secret Season 3 that the fact that we carried a bit of his energy was the reason that he was capable to control them. As in also the evil influence of Sifa Malam. Because Sifa Malam was still alive. Right now, he's still alive. So, now the impact of Sifa Malam's call is even stronger on him now. It's having an even bigger impact on him. He was stretching his neck as if this might ease the agony consuming his mind. I saw the muscles on his face twitch in reaction to a silent but insistent whisper, and then I rashly stepped towards him, stood on my toes, and pressed my lips to his. Yes! I was thinking that, like, just distract him somehow, if that helps. I wanted to drown out Sifa Malam's voice, yes. I wanted to distract him from the torments of darkness, yes. But a bell rang wildly in my head, its alarm reverberating powerfully. Idiot, idiot, idiot. Malbonte didn't move at first, as if I were nothing but a ghost whose touch just went unnoticed, felt as mere gusts of air or an unexplained discomfort. I would feel so, I don't know how to feel about this. I would feel so embarrassed. But then he suddenly bit my lower lip. Ooh. Sorry. Sorry. Yes, we know you want me. I know you want me, sir. It's okay. I mean, the same goes for me. Firmly to the point of sharp but fleeting pain, intermixed with agonizing tenderness, I tasted blood, and that was what Malbonte was aiming for. He ran his tongue over my bleeding lip as if stroking it. His hand rose up and pulled the hair on the back of my head, making me look straight into his eyes. His grip was strong and firm, but without any trace of his earlier anger. Ooh. 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 Oh, look at this. Ooh. Malbonte, you are fine. You're fine. Oof. You don't have to be this fine, sir.
Did you like that?
Yes, I like it rough. He said it in the quiet, rumbling voice, inviting and threatening at the same time. A drop of my blood remained on his lip, and I unconsciously licked my lips, mentally trying to wipe it off. No, you don't. You want to turn him on. And honestly, I would be doing the same thing. Malbonte pressed his thumb to his mouth and wiped away the blood with a rough, sharp movement. Uh-huh. Look at the animation, ladies and gentlemen. Look at the animation. Ooh, you are fine, sir. You are fine. You became closer, thank you. He exhaled softly. Apparently, his episode was over because he looked collected and cold again. Go. Go where? He acted as if nothing had happened, squeezed my shoulder again, lightly enough for me to escape, and led me to the exit. See if I kissed him. I did it. What was I thinking? You were thinking with your heart. I would have done the same. Like, just do some sort of thing, like talking to him. We saw that talking to him didn't work, so it has to be something else. Kissing him was the only way. Like, I don't think that giving a blowjob right there in the hallway would have been so pleasant to watch. Okay, I'm gonna stop. Once we were in the hallway, Malbonte released me and waved towards the office. He looked pale, but his gaze was wild, as if one careless word might unleash his blazing fury. There's clearly something wrong with him. Yeah, this this man had a hard on, and now he doesn't know what to do with himself. Barely opening his lips, he growled,
"Go, she's waiting."
He then turned to leave, but staggered and leaned against the wall. I had barely taken a step towards him when he stretched out his hand and angrily but quietly cut me off. "Sir, do you want me to go in that office or not?"
I said, "Go to her."
I was about to go in. Fine. I went to the door, and when I looked back, Malbonte was no longer in the hallway. This guy is gonna listen to Sifa Malam's call. He's gonna... Oh, God. I could run away, hide somewhere in the academy, away from the wrath of the horsewoman. The plague would find me eventually, and there I was, like a meek lamb who'd obediently come to lay down, and the she-wolves up open jaws. Damn! Plague and War had felt my approach and were expecting the door to open. When I entered, Plague was sitting at her desk, resting her chin atop clasped hands and looking straight at me. War was sitting on the couch with his arms outstretched. "Where did you go, little bird? You made me wait." What do I say? I didn't want to come back to the cage. Weak. I went for a walk, or is that forbidden? I came as soon as I was told. I responded to Blake's gaze with a calm look, as if I had nothing to hide. She clicked her tongue and tapped her nails impatiently on the polished desk. "Well..." She stood up abruptly, strolled around the table, and stopped in front of me. "You know, Dinah was pretty tough. He didn't beg for mercy, even though I could have killed him if I wanted to." Blake squinted and snapped her fingers several times as if trying to remember something. But you know what was strange? She took a few steps towards me. She saw that we were there. I didn't find anything in his head. Absolutely nothing that could explain Lily's behavior. How's that possible? How am I supposed to know? I wanted to retreat, but she grabbed me close and pulled me closer, looking at me, her face contorted with rage. "The same thing happens with you. I know you're hiding something, but no matter how hard I try, I can't find it. Even Malbonte can't, and you two have a connection." Oh, do we now? Even she noticed. Okay, I'm gonna stop. I don't understand what you want from me. She grabbed my head, roughly pressing her palms into my cheeks and temples, and forced me to look her in the eye. I felt a jolt, as if she'd entered my mind by kicking the door down. Blake rummaged through everything she could reach on the shelves of my memories. She trampled the pages containing the story of my soul. She tore up diaries that had been gathering dust in the secluded corners of my consciousness, waiting in the wings for me to recall them. She deliberately lingered over my most precious moments, scrolling through every detail, then ruthlessly destroyed them, erasing those moments from my past. I knew that plague had done some damage, but I could no longer understand what exactly I had been deprived of. She actually said, "I'm gonna delete something from your memory until you tell me something." It hurt. It hurt unbearably, but I couldn't push her out. I couldn't shut all the doors and lock them up because she'd torn them off their hinges and now walked among my life's memories as though they were her property. But then I felt something else. Ooh, what is that thing in the back? As if a door had opened, but not one that belonged to me. It was red, covered in exposed tendons and pulsing veins. It became so clear that I was able to get closer and see it more clearly. And then I heard muffled voices from Plague's memories. "They can search all they want. I can be killed with a sword soaked in the blood of a sea dragon. They're never going to find out about it." I accidentally got inside her head. Woo! Didn't I say that she's capable to absorb people's feelings? Tell me it's true and I'm gonna scream. The door remained ajar, and I tried to see what else was hiding behind it, but Plague might sense my meddling. Will I be able to sneak in without giving myself away? Nope. I'm too freaked out right now. Plague will sense my fear. I retreated and didn't go further, but Plague had no similar intentions of leaving me alone. She tormented me, enjoying my growing distress. "Girl, let me go." Ooh, War. Ooh, War.
Enough.
War squeezed Plague's wrist, forcing her to let me go. Ooh, I started something I can finish, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, I started something I can finish. Now it's a war between War and Malbonte. Oh, God.
I trained to turn her brains into mush. That won't stop us. You don't know that for sure.
Ooh. Plague reluctantly lessened her influence and turned away.
That's enough of you.
War suddenly laughed. Ooh.
You're so vicious.
Ooh. Plague grabbed him by the collar and looked into his eyes.
Shut up. You never learned to close yourself off from me. That's why I'm fonder of you than our other brothers.
Ooh.
You're fun.
Plague pushed him away slightly and returned to her desk.
Take her away.
War bowed and jokingly said,
As you say, mister.
He nodded at me.
Leave.
At the door, I glanced over my shoulder and noticed an insidious smile on the horsewoman's face. It seemed strangely inappropriate and it frightened me. What you want? War took long steps that I could barely keep up with. The horseman was silent and the silence was oppressive. I feel a very strange conversation coming up. He just continued on until he eventually stopped abruptly and said,
Would you like me to show you something?
What should I say? Oh my god, people, I'm so scared. I mean, right now we're not together with anyone. We still have a choice here. God, I don't know what to do. Should I say okay?
You know what?
Sure. He looked at me with a sort of boyish enthusiasm. I start something I can't finish. But his voice carried a cold warning.
If you tell anyone about this place, I'll be furious.
Don't worry, sir. I'm not gonna tell anyone. Okay? We walked on and didn't utter a word the entire way. War seemed to be thinking hard about something, and his thoughts clearly weren't happy ones. Soon I heard the babbling of a river. Oh my god!
Have you been here?
Yes, back when I was a student, but I didn't go too far. If you walk straight ahead, you can see a beacon. War seemed disappointed. His surprise was ruined. But had he planned for what? Oh, but had he planned for that? He sat down on the ground and put his elbows on his knees.
Sit down.
I am so terrified that I started something. I mean, it is a gen choice. I think we can confirm now that War is a love interest. His tone was commanding but free of anger. I obeyed. And again, a heavy, awkward silence filled with uncomfortable thoughts loomed over us. I cautiously asked, Is something bothering you? War made an incomprehensible sound, and I couldn't tell if he was confirming my assumption or not. After a few moments, he pointed to the tail of a fish as it flashed above the surface before plunging back below.
You have many different organisms. Why so many?
Is it different in your world?
There aren't this many.
That'd be interesting to see. He cut me off rather rudely.
The likes of you would never be able to ascend. A human cannot go to heaven and return at will.
But under certain circumstances, it's possible, right? Ward turned his head and looked into my eyes for a long time.
I know what you're doing.
Why are you looking at me like that? My heart beat faster. Uh-oh.
You think you can succeed?
At first I wanted to lie, to pretend that I didn't understand what he was talking about. He knows everything. Run. But his eyes, so lively and laughing, began to darken from melancholy thoughts. I don't know. He laughed and threw a pebble into the river.
If you don't kill me, you'll regret it.
War took another stone, but instead of throwing it, he clenched it in his fist.
But I won't let you do that. Of course I'm a fool, but not to that extent. And of course you're beautiful and wary, but also not to that extent.
Sir! No need to call me out. Crumbled remnants of the stone slipped through his fingers. Why did you bring me here? He chuckled and laughed again.
I'm asking myself the same question.
Oh, God. I awoke something inside of you, didn't I?
Plague is staying with us as always. She knows, better than anyone else, how lonely it is to be one of the horsemen.
I can't with his sad face.
It has nothing to do with you. It's about her and me, and our brothers. She only sent you because I couldn't kill you if you pissed me off.
Why?
That's why.
But why can't you kill me? Like I said, it's because of our powers, right? She wants to use us as a weapon. His words seemed like a confession, honest, open, and raising new questions. I agreed with him. There was nothing special about me that could really attract him. I was just there, trying not to be afraid, while the others could only wonder whether or not he'd kill them. What a simple formula for love. Such a lofty description of what was going on in his head. Is it really that important? He looked into my eyes again. I moved closer and allowed myself to place my hand on his cheek. This is a deja vu from the scene with Malbonte. Uh-oh. Ward turned his head almost imperceptibly and his lips touched my hand. He looked at me without moving. Does the reason really matter, as if we're going to die anyway? If you're invincible?
No one is invincible.
His smile. And yet, is it that important? The how and the why? War was silent for a long time before answering.
You're right.
And then he kissed my palm. Huh? He became much closer. War made up his mind about some things. Uh-oh. People, oh gosh, I'm so scared. If you want me to continue using gem choices for him, please tell me in the comments. I have the feeling I'm starting at something I can't finish. Jesus. Uh-oh.
That's enough. I feel weird.
You're starting to develop feelings. His mood fell noticeably. He got up and extended his hand to me.
This isn't love.
I know. But would it be enough? To kill him? He seemed to be thinking about the same thing.
Let's go.
We returned to the school. Without saying goodbye, War went inside. I stood there thinking about whether I could go through with it. The gears in my mind seemed to creak in the aftermath of the mess the horsewoman had left there. But I remembered one thing for sure. Plague could be killed, and I should tell the resistance about it. Wasn't that she can be killed with a sword drenched in the blood of a sea dragon? Without thinking twice, I went to the cemetery. I didn't know when Plague would leave, but waiting felt impossible. It was worth risking it once more. With a trembling hand, I wrote down everything I had discovered. As soon as I finished the last word, the note self-ignited and its ashes fell to the ground. I felt both intensely uneasy and impatient.
Oh, sure.
I startled, but didn't turn around immediately. My stunned brain took a few moments to sort through everything I had seen and heard that day before coming to a logical conclusion. Only then did I slowly look at Fancio, who was approaching me. You're part of the resistance.
There's information about Plague. How did you get it?
Were you the one contacting me all this time? Fancio sighed nervously when he realized that he'd get his answer only after I got mine.
This kind of communication requires you to be nearby. I thought you understood that.
What did you do to me back then in the cell? Fancio nodded, confirming my suspicions. Stretching his arm forward and drawing his sleeve up to his elbow, he ran his finger over the skin, stretching it. Underneath blue was glowing underneath.
This is a stone of secrets. It must be implanted under the skin, and then, with the help of spells, listing all of the connections, the relevant secrets can be concealed. These secrets will be impossible to find in an immortal's memories. I've never heard of it before. They're very hard to find. Only one cliff contains them, and before the Order of the Resistance, no one knew where it was. Does every member of the Order have one? We have a limited supply of stones. We only implant them in those who are strategically important to us, and that's me. I touched the spot where Fenzio had cut me, so Lucifer, of course, is also part of the Resistance, like there's no other way. He was like, you do it because I can't, even if it would have been for a good cause, and he was like, I can hurt her, like I can cut her, and he implanted that into our hand, like under our skin, when we passed out from the pain. I touched the spot where Fenzio had cut me, which I thought was a ruthless punishment at the time, but he actually did it to save me. Lila wasn't as important as the others, is that right? Fenzio nodded. The Horsemen weren't interested in her, as she wasn't gathering useful information and didn't pose a significant threat in a battle. Who else is undercover in the Resistance? Of course! Period! Dan and Lucifer, maybe someone else, but even I don't know everything. But how did that happen? How did you end up in the Resistance? You asked too many questions, now it's my turn. How did you find out how to kill Plague? I told him everything in full detail. Fenzio listened without interrupting. I couldn't tell from his face what he was thinking. When I finished, he said, "It looks like we don't have time." Plague asked me if it was possible to change one's own memories. She suspects something. Why does she trust you? I control everything that I see and say. When looking into my mind, she doesn't see any inconsistencies or fragments of memories. And what do we do next? The Order has been preparing for battle for a long time, but they knew that they couldn't succeed, that it would be futile. He walked around me slowly and stopped next to the inscription that glorified the victors and mourned the dead. A plague that was unaware that the triumph would be short-lived, just like those deaths. This new information will significantly increase our chances of succeeding, which means that the Resistance will probably make a move. They want to free as many students as possible. Will the Resistance attack the Academy? You did your part. You can stop here for now. Should I say, the Order won't be able to defeat the Horsemen? This isn't enough to atone for your sins. Sometimes not knowing is even more dangerous than having secrets. Yeah. If I don't know something, then I can't stay out of a significant part in the future. Like, you have to tell me something important, important information, but not the entire details, so that I can prepare myself to stay out of your way when necessary, especially since my mind is protected by the stone. What about your tongue? As long as you have that, you can speak. You don't trust me, do you? Leave those questions for the pups that chase after you. He knows that there are multiple ones. Lucifer, Malbonte and War as well. Fenzio turned to look me in the eye, his expression serious. You've been more helpful than I expected. Gee, thanks. Now forgive me. For what? He's gonna knock you out. Fenzio waved his hand. I felt an impact which instead of pushing me back seemed to penetrate under my skin and into my head. Everything went dark before my eyes. What the fuck? I was awakened by the sound of water dripping, by the piercing cold dampness of the dungeon. I already knew where I was, even before I opened my eyes. Plague smiled when she saw that I had woken up. Fancy stood near the door as if he might flee at any moment. The horsewoman loomed over me, her smile unflattering. What do we have here? She grabbed my wrist and pulled me roughly towards her, and then she ran her finger over the inside of my hand, forcing the stone to glow as it answered her call. He told her. She knows. So the little bird got caught.
Plague laughed like a mad woman in a moment of agony. Realizing what awaited me, I gritted my teeth and held my tongue. And the horsewoman kept laughing, her fingers clutched around my glowing wrist. Well, shit. That sucks. He actually knocked us out to deliver us to Plague. Damn, sir. Damn. I don't know what to feel about that. I mean, I want to hate him, but I also don't. Because he's doing everything he can for the benefit of all people that are suffering under her. But I hate that it's always us that has to pay the price for a bigger picture. Like, someone else can take a fall for once too. Why am I always the one that gets thrown in jail, gets tortured, gets manipulated, gets ripped off her entire strength? Like, why? Oh yeah, that was episode 9. I loved it. It was a great episode back. Well, I hope you enjoyed it. Tell me in the comments below what you think was best, and I will see you in another video. Bye.